not give the amnesty to the illegal person. We are and always have been a country based on the rule of law, and amnesty for the illegal is a total disregard for the law. In my opinion, amnesty is a slap in the face to all people who went through the long and arduous process to the participating in this country legally. It is a slap in the face to any honest, tax-paying citizen who is footing the bill for these illegals and paying the price to increase crime and anti-American social behavior. Illegal drain our social security system. They can apply for food stamps and they can also claim social security benefit from the system from the everyday they came to this country as illegals. In the immigration compromise bill that have been before Congress, over 10 million illegals could use their green card status to apply for Social Security benefits. The national health care is a huge risk if any of this amnesty provides is passed. Why? Because illegals can go to any hospital and demand care, and the hospital is obliged to give it to them, regardless of the fact that the state pick up their bills. Small business will really be hurt because of the unfair consideration given to the guest workers. It will guarantee them work as a privileged wage, while the same protections are not awarded to tax-paying citizens. This is directly discriminatory to our own legal citizens. And my last and most important thing is breaking the law is unfair to those who obey the law and go through administrative requirement to enter the country legally. That's why the government should not give the amnesty to the illegal person.
Our opponents also say that immigrants don't pay taxes, but some of them do. And if we do grant illegal immigrants amnesty, then we'll have more people paying taxes, which can add to our revenue. They also say that it's unfair for people to come here illegally, but there are it's unfair to make them work to come here when American citizens are here and we don't have to do anything. Citizenship is just granted to us. So what makes us better than them to just have them work so hard to get citizenship, going through tedious documents and paperwork, and we just are granted it from the time we're born. And when they come here, they're also exploited, which isn't fair. So when it comes down to being ethical, they say that it's unfair for them to come here illegally and reap all the benefits basically, but it's also unfair for us to exploit them and treat them less than humans. And there's a quote by where it is now. There's a quote that says that illegal immigrants are exploited, raped, and abused by people in this country, and they do nothing about it because they're afraid of being deported if they go to the police and report the crimes, which isn't fair, because if someone's in danger or has been assaulted in any way, they should feel free to take a stand and fight for their rights and get help. So granting amnesty would help people do this. That's it. So our opponents say that illegal immigrants increase the crime rates and add to crime that's in our country, but Stanford University Department of Economics did a study in 1986 after amnesty was granted, and crime rates dropped to about 4%. And with the crime rates dropping, that proves that amnesty does help when it comes to crime. There's a famous quote by JFK that says, "Let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities." because in each of us there is a private hope and dream which fulfilled can be translated into benefit for everyone and greater strength for our nation. So granting amnesty to illegal immigrants, there is no telling what if they can fulfill their dreams and get education, there's no telling what they can benefit and bring to our country to help us. Granting amnesty is the ethical thing to do. Many immigrants in this country right now are exploited and taken advantage of. They work for less than minimum wage, and they work in horrible conditions. A lot of businesses that hire illegal immigrants use the fact that they can be penalized for hiring them against them to pay them less. So even the laws that we have now where people will be punished for hiring illegal immigrants does not work, because they would rather take the fine than abide by the law. Illegal immigration, people coming to America illegally, is against the law, but there are other laws in this country that people are breaking. They're not the only ones breaking laws here. Let's see what else. My next point is that amnesty will provide opportunities for immigrants to better themselves. With them protected by the government, they'll be able to be given better rights and minimum wage, so they're not exploited. And a lot of people say that immigrants take jobs from American citizens, but it has been proven that they don't. They actually take jobs that American citizens don't want. Our country thrives on illegal immigrants because they'll do the jobs that Americans don't want. So why are we going to get rid of someone that benefits our country? My last point is that illegal immigration takes granting amnesty takes some of the focus off illegal immigrants and puts it towards bigger issues like education and our crime rates. Our crime rates are decreasing, but they're still pretty high. And education, the local funding is shrinking and costs are rising. So if we take some of the money that we're putting towards deporting the people that are here and put it towards our education, then we can better it, which education is supposed to be the most important thing in our society. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's it.
There are many people in America, they apply to become the permanent citizens legally. Some of them, they are international citizens. They came here, they went to school, and later on they apply to work, and usually it would take about 8 to 10 years to get a permanent residence or even more. But do you think it could be unfair to those people because the amnesty is unfair because they just get the green card very easily?
No, I don't think that amnesty is unfair because I don't think amnesty is unfair because it's helping people who need the help, and that's what our nation is supposed to do. It's supposed to help people who are in need, and that's what amnesty would do for illegal immigrants. I don't think that it's unfair because there are laws where we benefit from being U.S. citizens. We benefit from it, so it's like it's not fair for us to benefit when we did nothing to come here, when they're working hard and filing documents and waiting for the right time to come here to have to work that hard.
The government should not grant any kind of amnesty to illegal immigrants because more illegal immigrants in this country means more opportunity for terrorism, drug dealers, and criminals to enter the country. For example, on September 11, the terrorists that crashed the towers, the airplanes into the towers, came into the country legally. And any DEA officials will tell you that most illegal drugs can be traced to Central or South America. Another reason why the government should not allow any kind of amnesty is because immigrants, especially the poor ones, consume a high amount of government resources like welfare and healthcare. They consume this without paying any corresponding high rate of taxes. Therefore, the citizens pay for those taxes, for those services. Another reason is because less skilled American citizens earn less money and have fewer job opportunities because they have to compete against immigrants. Immigrants in this country decrease the amount of work available. Even though most immigrants do take the low-paying jobs, Americans that did not finish high school or have little or no education have no jobs since the immigrants are taking these low-skilled jobs. The last amnesty was passed in 1986. Congress passed the Immigration Reform Act, which granted 2.8 million undocumented legal status in the U.S. Today we are at 12 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. The number of illegal immigrants are increasing. Therefore, the 1986 Amnesty Act gave illegal immigrants a green light to come to the United States. How would our society change if we had illegal immigrants break our laws? What other of our laws will illegal immigrants choose to ignore? There should be no amnesty because illegal immigrants already broke a law by coming to the U.S. illegally. It is also unfair for those illegal immigrants who have followed the rules in their quest for citizenship. It will make it easier for illegal immigrants to receive amnesty. This will encourage other illegal immigrants to come to the U.S. The population of illegal immigrants will grow. Amnesty will add millions of people to the welfare rolls, which consume government resources such as healthcare, social security, and education while paying little or no taxes. If we follow our present course of spending far more than we take in revenue, we are headed to bankruptcy. We are spending over 3.5 trillion every year, while only taking in around 2 trillion. What this is telling us is that we'll just go into bankruptcy. It would also, like I said before, it would also take away jobs from current American citizens. It is a total myth that Americans won't take the jobs that illegal immigrants work. The truth is that they may not do the work for the low pay that immigrants are often given. Teenagers and college students alone who take the vast majority of minimum wage jobs would be affected the most. Teen unemployment rate has hovered between 40 to 50%. When McDonald's added 50,000 jobs in April of 2011, there was basically a stamp of applicants looking for any work they could find. Adding over 10 million illegal immigrants to the workforce only makes a job search harder for Americans. As I had mentioned about the terrorists, the 9/11, for example, disciples of Osama bin Laden are constantly looking for ways to cause mass death and to bring the U.S. economy to its knees. Communists in Russia, Venezuela, China, and Cuba want their communist propaganda inside the U.S. as another step to their goal of destroying free capitalism. Do we really want to make it easier for these groups of enemies to penetrate our country? And lastly, until several other proposed solutions have at least been attempted, we shouldn't do anything so drastically as grant amnesty to tens of millions who've broken the law of our country. Thank you.
You said that illegal immigrants consume government resources without paying taxes. Wouldn't it be easier to grant them amnesty and tax them for the resources that they consume instead of deporting them?
No, because if you tax them, they're already getting paid a low salary. So if you tax them, you'll be taking away a big portion of their money.
wouldn't they be able to, now that they're granted amnesty, wouldn't they be able to get paid at least minimum wage, which would make it easier for them to pay for taxes?
But if we give them amnesty, then it's just gonna be, yes, you could tax them, but if they do have a decent job, then they're not gonna want those jobs anymore. They're gonna be taking away more, more sophisticated jobs that other Americans can be taking. So even if you do grant them amnesty, they'll just be taking away. They won't be taking the low-paying jobs away now. They'll be taking other jobs.
Every year, there are many people who apply to become permanent citizens of America. Some are coming as an international students, and it could take as long as 10 years or more to become a permanent citizens. The amnesty could be very unfair to those people who are working very hard to get green card. And as I said previously, to give the illegal residents amnesty is a totally disrespect to the current law. And moreover, they could cost all the tax incomes because they can get the health care, health treatment, and the food stamp for nearly free. As I said before, they can apply for the food stamp and they can just get the food, and they can have the health care for nearly free because they can walk through the hospital and get treatment, but we have to pay for it because on the table they have nearly low to no income. And after that, it could hurt the small business because they can get the low payment, and the American can hardly find a job. So that's unfair to the current resident in the USA. So after all, it is not good to give them amnesty.